Despite what everyone tells you, including your mother-in-law, you can't discipline out ADHD and neurodivergence. Hi, I'm Dr. Roseann, and we're diving into discipline, neurodivergence, ADHD. And despite what everyone tells you, the teacher, the lady down the street, the people on the bus stop, brains are wired uniquely. And that means we have a whole spectrum of different kinds of kids and individuals. And everybody doesn't respond to the same traditional discipline methods. And even though many people might tell you that it's your bad parenting causing your kids, my gosh, people from all over tell me that X, Y, and Z told them it was bad parenting, and including well meaning grandparents who, generationally think of behavior so differently than we do. But we're going to talk about misconceptions, why different brains respond differently to methods of discipline, really, which I want you to think about as teaching and learning, and what is the best way to teach, to discipline a child who's maybe wired uniquely, right? So first of all, we have all these misconceptions. We often see these differences in our kids' behavior. Maybe sometimes, they're right on it when it has to do with their video games or Legos or art or music or whatever their interest is. And then you're like, but they don't empty the dishwasher. But they beat the crap out of their sister. But all those things. And it has a lot to do with when that wired differently brain gets different kinds of stimulation. So when their brain is getting stimulated, it's just a lot easier for them neurologically to complete the task, start the task, listen to the directions, do all those things that make kids regulated, right? That's what a regulated kid looks like. We have dysregulated kids. They have a hard time with all those things. And so we think, right? Or we've been taught to think. So let's dispel that if we punish them, if we discipline them, they'll get in line, right? Well, we all know that. If you've got a wired differently kid, you can't spank them into submission, you can't yell them into submission, you can't ask a million times. You have to speak to them in the way that their brain hears you. I hope that's an aha moment. So, why do their why does their brain process differently? So, we're in this place where brains are unique. And because of that, right, why does it happen? Sometimes they're inheriting different genetic issues or differences or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it's that the environment is affecting them and they have neuroinflammation or chronic systemic inflammation. Sometimes they've had injuries, right? Sometimes they're stressed, they have anxiety, they have clinical issues. There's a lot of reasons, and those are all important. But what we're talking about is learning. And the first platform for learning is anybody? A regulated nervous system. So, for yourself when you've slept well, you've eaten, your stress is low, maybe the whole family's going away for the weekend. Maybe that's what's happening to me this weekend for sure. Certainly, as I'm diving into writing my next book about dysregulation. And before that, we're revising It's Going to Be Okay. And hopefully that will be out in November. It's going to be a lot more graphically organized with a lot more tables and things. So look forward to that. I'm excited. And I think we're going to do a book club on that. So, but when you're regulated, that means your system is optimal. And as an adult, I don't know why everyone thinks it's different for their kids, but when you're an adult, when your nervous system is regulated, you're more pleasant, you're taken in more. And so for learning to occur, we need nervous system regulation, right? We can talk about that all day long. Please go back and listen to my other 200 plus episodes. Get on to www.drroseann.com. You can always join our free Facebook group, drroseann.com/group. And that's all about natural solutions to support dysregulated kids. And remember, that's kids that are under and overstimulated. It's not just kids that are explosive. It's the signs, those are just signs that their nervous system needs TLC. So when we are regulated, we can learn better. Okay, you're probably thinking, hey, Dr. Rowe, I got a kid that's punching holes in walls or who's, reacting to everything. They're autistic, they have sensory issues, whatever's going on. I get it. we gotta be more proactive in getting their nervous system to regulate, but in general, it's much harder to learn when your system is dysregulated, and that's why when your kid's doing their high interest area, they're regulating because their nervous system is getting that feedback. That's why they excel in those areas because that is their jam. That's where they feel good and their nervous system is getting that stimulation. Even if it's unhealthy and they're on devices, they're getting stimulated and they can learn better, right? We're not gonna say you should do unhealthy things. We wanna have non-device nervous system regulation because when they come off, there's a trend right now where they're showing kids, young kids, like pre-verbal kids, when they try to remove cocoa melon because it's like crack for them. So it's the same thing. And just so you know, I'm a mom too, and my kid has an extra week off because with these massive storms here in Connecticut, and here I am filming, and he's on his device. I did see him a few times. We talked about cooking and things like that. He's almost 14. So we do the best we can, but how do we get our kids to regulate, right? And how do we get them to listen, right? So first of all, dysregulation when you're wired differently, right? It does impact your behavior, can impact your impulse control, and it definitely impacts executive functioning. And executive functioning really is that job manager of the brain. It helps us future think, it helps us plan. And we need good executive functioning skills to be able to do things like learn how to empty the dishwasher, whatever it is that you need to do. And so when we take this knowledge and we apply it to learning, aka discipline, because discipline, right, is about teaching your child how to ideally, you're showing the behavior you want. Discipline, punishment is showing them the behavior you don't want. So we need to think about why punishment doesn't work. It doesn't work because a wired differently brain, a neurospicy, a neurodifference, a neurodivergent brain, they have trouble seeing what's salient. So when we're showing them what they shouldn't be doing, we're actually accidentally reinforcing that, and which means it's going to happen more. So when we switch that from discipline to teaching and we show them what we want to have happen, they're much more likely to do it. And then, as I always say, just remember reinforce, reinforce, and reinforce some more. You're always going to reinforce at least 3 times that much. Now, when we are punishing, one of the main reasons it doesn't work is it causes increased nervous system dysregulation. It causes anxiety, it causes shame. Now, that's not to say that kids never get punishment or discipline. I just am really clear. Safety things, if my boys are beating the crap out of each other, they're getting punished. I mean, there's a fine line, right? I save it for the important things. But in day to day, how does punishment help you learn how to empty the dishwasher, right? There can be natural consequences, right? In our family, you have to earn before you get your rewards. So you just don't get your rewards. But we want to reinforce kids, right? And some of the best ways to start with that is routines and consistency, right? So if there's a task you want them to do, what's your routine around it, right? Are you just yelling up, down the stairs, don't forget to blah, blah, blah? What is the routine? What is the consistency? When you pick up from school or you get off the bus, like, hey, what was the most interesting thing in your day? Don't ask how was school today? Say, oh, what was science class like today? Get more specific. Then say, okay, what's the plan for today? Let them tell you what it is. Let them take it, part of it. Okay. What's your strategy? Okay, what are the things you got to do? And remember, every time you're doing something new, you're gonna have to practice it. You're gonna have to go over it. They're not gonna just magically know what to do. So go over that routine, right? And then when they're going over their routine or they're actually doing the task, how are you teaching problem solving, right? So, why is it the one thing, putting their book bag, getting started on the homework? What's the barrier, right? Are they hungry? Are they trying to race off and grab the iPad when they're not supposed to? Look at those barriers and then, get them to be part of like, okay, I see this is hard for you. And you've been sitting all day. Like, what would be a good idea for you right now? And obviously the older you have, the more, the older your child is, they might give you more pushback. It doesn't mean you are not in a team with your child on this. It just means that you might have to work harder, right? It's natural developmental shift. And some of our kids that are neurodivergent, they may lack the communication skills. So maybe there needs to be visual schedule, but you need routine and consistency around it. And of course, we got to talk about modeling behavior. What behavior are you modeling, right? Are you modeling that you're totally pissed off and yelling all the time? That's not working and you don't feel good about it, right? Are you modeling, "Hey, listen, this is my you're gonna be working on empty the dishwasher. I'm gonna be starting dinner. Let's get it done." You know, and do those kind of things. And how are you regulating? Are you getting your nervous system in alignment so you're responsive, you can hear your child, you can communicate. And then just remember, this isn't going to look perfect. These are kids, you know. I always share stories, and I think, sometimes I get parents are so angry that their kids can't do things like all the time. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe because I grew up in the '70s and '80s, I don't remember doing anything well all the time, like this idea that kids are fully formed human beings, please, let's give them, like 25 years to work things out, right? And let's just realize that there are a lot of things we can do, and punishment isn't going to make your child not be ADD, not be neurodivergent. It's just not going to happen. So work with your child's assets, put those, routine, the structure, and think about it as teaching. When you shift that mindset and you think, how can I help my child learn better in this situation? I promise you it's going to be better for you and your kid.